What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Let's get right into today's clip that I got from the Tim Pool podcast, where he's having a debate with this woke social justice warrior about abortion and transgenderism. But I mean, the whole podcast, they were debating various topics. But these two clips that I got is about gender affirming healthcare and also abortion. And when Tim Pool is basically pushing back on this guy's ideology, the amount of mental gymnastics this guy does try to justify his ideology and his beliefs is really impressive, to be honest with you. And the fact that they don't see their own hypocrisy and the cognitive dissonance is like I said, very, very, very impressive. That's the best way I can describe it, because it takes a lot of just delusion to remain in this way of thinking, in my opinion. But let's watch the clip together. I also grabbed some comments from the original video. I'll put them at the end. We'll read that together at the end of this clip. Let's get right into it.
My follow-up is, you think trans people feel safer than ever?
No. Right now, there's over 400 different bills being pushed in the United States that is directly targeting trans people.
So they don't feel safe.
Okay, before he goes on, I can tell this guy remains in an echo chamber because of how he described the bills as against trans people. There is no bill, there is not one single bill that you can point out that criminalizes transgenderism, that makes it illegal to be transgender or anything like that. The only thing that the politicians are doing is making it illegal to change a minor's reproductive parts. I mean, that's the premise of that's the whole debate of these bills. And these people say, well, it's it's against transgenderism. No, it's against mutilating children before they could even consent. But let's just keep going.
Safe.
Of course they don't.
So then why are they coming out if they don't feel safe?
They have more access because that Generation Z, has a lot more acceptance towards trans people than older people who pass laws, draconian people who pass laws. The boomers are the ones running the show right now. They're still the ones in government. They're still the ones passing laws. There's very few Generation Z in government or parliament.
You want to know what I think? I think there is a trans genocide.
Okay.
And I think it's you. Okay. Because you're sterilizing a lot of these people.
How so?
I mean, they're literally sterilizing them. The surgery to remove the gonads, hysterectomies, and puberty and cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers have a high rate of sterilization. I mean, first of all, removal of the gonads in the uterus is an absolute sterilization.
That's the definition.
And then puberty blockers have a very high rate, and cross-sex hormones have an extremely high rate of sterilizing the individual. So these people can no longer reproduce. That's genocide.
Is this the joke you're going to go for?
Joke? You are removing these people's ability to reproduce. And if they're at a young age and they haven't had the ability, like for instance, Jazz Jennings can never have kids. Jazz Jennings also, and this probably part of your studies, can't actually feel any sexual feeling of any kind.
Do you have any idea how weird this sounds right now? Like, why are you obsessing with a stranger's genital pleasure? That's so weird. That's so bizarre.
That was very weird yourself.
You guys are all weird.
No. So I'm talking about adults who engage in activities, which is a large portion of the global economy, whether you like it or not. Sure. Sex sells, they say. And when I say this person will never have this ability, you go, how weird is that?
It's weird for you to fixate on a stranger's genital pleasure. That's strange. That's so bizarre.
Well, she's public about it.
But see, you're not making an argument right now, is my point.
I'm not. I'm saying it's weird. It's not an argument. Yeah, that's an observation.
So you're trying to make an appeal to emotion and an appeal to shame.
No, I'm just giving you my genuine thought when you say something like that. Like,
well, it was a really fucking pathetic attempt at trying to make an argument.
Why should we talk about that?
With Canal.
Sure.
That they are.
You see that? You see how he just did and tried to dismiss the argument that Tim was trying to make, as far as when you're having gender affirming healthcare, you're literally sterilizing them. They can no longer reproduce. That's what Tim Pool's argument is. But this guy goes on to talk about the pleasure of it. Tim Pool ain't saying nothing about the pleasures of having sex. He's talking about reproduction. And if you don't allow a certain group of people to reproduce by way of science and medicine and healthcare, you're deliberately sterilizing them and cutting off their ability to have children. Meaning, you're not allowing them to recreate themselves. And in a sense, that's mass genocide. That's what they tried to do with abortion with Margaret Sanger. They tried to have an abortion on the so-called undesirables. They want to see who had the Down syndrome, who was autistic, who had some type of birth defects, and they tried to get rid of that child before it even came into fruition. And that's the same thing that the left is doing to the trans community. They're sterilizing them. Not only will they not get to experience one of the most pleasurable things of being a human, which is orgasms, but you also won't even get to experience the consequences of that, which is reproducing. So by definition, you're literally sterilizing them. You're literally killing them off. And they don't see that. It's really mind-blowing to me.
Are now endowed with human rights.
Yes.
However, when they are inside of the mother, literally anything you do to them is acceptable because they're inside of the mother.
Oh,
so they're talking about abortion here. And they're basically calling him out, saying that he believes that women should have the right to have an abortion no matter what. And kind of giving you some context here.
no, I don't think anything is acceptable, but I think the mother should still have the choice, ultimate authority over what happens to her body.
But there's a child inside of her body,
Hold on.
and not
What
her.
about
Yes.
meth?
Like, should she be allowed to do meth?
Yeah.
I think if someone is doing meth while they're pregnant, that it is completely acceptable for something like, I don't know what the name of the service is in the United States.
Child services?
I guess
Child
ECFS
services?
would be.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's her body, though.
Yeah, it's her body.
If she wants to do meth, what's the big deal?
The big deal is that she's intentionally trying to kill a child.
Hold on there a minute.
Yeah, and I see.
Oh, he got him. He got him. And I couldn't even put any, the rest of the clip or the rest of that segment, because the way that this guy derailed the conversation and just moved past it was irrelevant to the topic. It's really, really sad. I wish Tim Pool was able to keep him on that subject matter, on exactly what he said. But Lance, I think that's his name is Lance, he's so good at deviating that they got lost in the nuance, man. It really was tragic, because that was just so perfect. You're saying you wouldn't allow women to take meth because it would deliberately kill the kid, but it's her body, her choice, right? But you're saying that she should be able to have an abortion no matter what because it's her choice, her body, her choice. These people, once again, I say this all the time. I don't make these videos to make sense of these people. I don't make these videos to make a rational argument against them, because they're very irrational. They're completely opposite to total reality that me and you live in. So, like I said, I make these videos for entertainment. This is pure entertainment. Watching their hypocrisy, watching their delusion, the amount of cognitive dissonance that is just that has taken over these people is so impressive to me. It truly, truly is very impressive. So, but let's read some of these comments. Next comment says, it was so hard listening to this whole interview, but I'm glad I did. We now have gotten inside the head of a crazy person, and I realized there's no compromise or actually living peacefully with these people. Yeah, I keep saying this all the time. There is no understanding these people. There is no understanding these people whatsoever. Excuse me. Next comment says, I love the part where he said a pregnant mom shouldn't be able to smoke meth, but should be allowed to murder that baby at any moment because my body, quote unquote. Then clung to meth being illegal as the excuse, despite the argument literally being about late-term abortion should be illegal. Those Timcast scripts writers are brilliant. Yeah, and like I said, they deviated from that because his argument after what he just said was, well, meth is illegal, so she shouldn't be able to do it. And that's when that's why I mentioned that they just start arguing about a bunch of nuance. It really made no sense. Next comment says, Jesus, Christ, I'm so glad you bring these people on. It makes me realize why it's so hard to actually talk to these people about issues. Their worldview is so warped compared to mine, and vice versa. Straight up having the same movie with two different stories playing at the same time. And that makes no sense. The next comment says, the way you lured him into admitting abortion is more about the death of the baby than the life of the mother was absolutely masterful. Yeah, if you get a chance to watch the whole interview, just YouTube Timcast, and it's the latest episode. And he has his face on the thumbnail, so you'll be able to find it very easily. Very interesting. Very interesting. This comment says, I love how he says forced birth. It's asking to someone eating food and then complaining about being forced to poop. Yeah, and that was also part of the other parts of the argument that he was making, which were nonsensical. This comment says, the guest, it's so weird that you're talking about sexual pleasures for strangers, everyone else. Not as weird as you supporting the mutilation of strangers. Exactly right. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the last comment there. Let me know what you guys think. I thought this debate was absolutely hilarious. Once again, I love pointing out the hypocrisy, the double standards, the delusion in these people, and then talking about it with you guys. So comment down below. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button down below. And if this is your first time on the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button for more content. See you on the next video. Peace.